We are still here. Also here with us, our lovely colleagues, Frodan and Greetorp, holding down the desk. Dan, I see you looking very sharp today. Andre, you're wearing the bacon tie. Is that because Kevin stole your tie?
Yes, he did. It's unbelievable. I can't find my tie anymore.
You know what's funny? I was back in the back getting ready for today's broadcast, and I was changing, and I looked on Kevin's hanger, and there was a red tie there. And I walked out here, and Kevin was wearing a red tie. Which begs the question, whose tie are you wearing, bro?
Also, my blue shirt is missing.
Yeah, come on, guys. Come on.
Oh, that's really fun. Yes, you know, a lot of stuff did happen today in history, but Andre, you know what today I learned?
What did you learn today, Fred?
I learned that elephants can purr, just like cats.
Oh, really? Do you know what I learned today?
What did you learn today,
I learned
Andre?
that the state of Mississippi did not ratify the 13th Amendment until 1995. Now, if you don't know what the 13th Amendment is, it's actually the one that outlawed slavery. So technically in Mississippi,
slavery was legal till 1995.
Till 1995, which was the same date. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I
You're
actually
done making up facts. You're done making up facts.
I would never make up another fact on cast again. So
don't worry, Andre. It's we had lots of fun things to talk about today, but also lots of fun things to talk about yesterday. We had great games. Andre, why don't you walk us through the first one?
Oh my gosh! Well, it's Targa against Bishu. Now, of course, Bishu's #1 fan is here today. Of course, Mr. Bitter. But he's doing some sneaky stuff. He went for a gateway, expand into really fast Dark Templars with this continuation. And look at this money force field. Being able to do just so much damage. Now, it's kind of misleading because you think the Dark Templars got cleaned up all the way in the top. But Bishu very cleverly actually hit one of the Dark Templars. And a little bit later, you're going to see that it actually dealt 21 kills throughout this whole battle.
Yeah. That's incredible amounts of damage. And anyone can tell you, you know, the biggest thing, important thing in these kinds of battles is not just protecting your hatchery, but keeping your drones alive. That's why they need to evacuate them. And nice force field also is a continuation for Bishu, as he did go on to win 2-0 over Targa, who's been showing very great results recently. But Bishu, man, this guy is just showing why he is worth his weight in NASL.
I know. Nobody ever can counter what Bitter says about this guy, because he always says, you know, everybody expects him to 2-base, but they can't hold him still. And that does show you that Bishu has a lot of skill to him. Our next series in the top 3 is actually going to be through Hwangsin and Tasia. Now, if you don't know about this is a large upset. We're going to start with game #1. On Daybreak, this is a 12-minute timing that was actually premeditated. When
you planned out with him?
Yes. And what it basically said was, we knew Tasia was going to be doing some sort of 3 orbital command center opening, so why not hit with a 12-minute timing with 3 Colossus and just do immeasurable damage?
Yeah, it just seems like a really nice little push here. And Tasia is a guy that actually plays pretty greedy oftentimes, goes for really quick 3rd command center sometimes. But in this case, was he be able to hold off the timing? Hwangsin positions Colossus perfectly away from the ledge, making sure if there were any Vikings, nothing will be able to hit him. And this attack is just so devastating. What can you really do in this position?
Yeah, you need layers of bunkers if you want to defend this. On top of that, you absolutely cannot have this little amount of Vikings if you want to combat it at all. And going for Medivacs is actually unfortunate, but it is the wrong decision. It's just so hard to make the calls to say, I'm not going any Medivacs at all, and hard countering this push that's coming in. Tasia will be cleaned up here after Hwangsin gets into the production line. And you can see, I mean, Hwangsin has the easiest end battle right here.
I mean, he's already at the production line. That's a strategy win. Tasia, renowned for his micro, his late game control, but why let him get to that stage? Yeah. Just be able to kill him right here, and that's an important win. But the series wasn't done just then. I mean, Hwangsin has to go for 2 wins in a row.
That's right.
And brought to game #2. Andre, what happened here?
Well, you know, it's the same type of thing, same kind of opening, but very different results. Now you can see the effects when Tasia actually holds off early game pressure. He gets into late game and just dominates. Now, he only had Marines and Marauders, but you can see the Colossus didn't do nearly as much damage to those Marines. With so many alive, what can you really do with just Stalkers, Immortals, and Zealots?
Yeah, and then from this point on, Tasia was able to hold on and able to take the game, although Hwangson would go on to win game number 3, Andre. And despite the fact that, you know, Tasia was losing here, it goes to show you how Tasia does struggle with turn versus Protoss. He said for a long time, if you can dodge Protoss, he would be able to go. In his round of 8s in GSL, he would lose to Protoss players. Granted, he did lose to Life in the semifinals, and Tasia's still a monster, but Hwangson just played awesome and played directly into the weaknesses of Tasia.
I completely agree. I mean, Tasia is one of those players that really relies on his opening build order to get him to the end game with an advantage. And that's why you see him in TVP either be so far behind or so far ahead in each of these games. So game 2 was a perfect example where he was just so ridiculously far ahead. But game 1 and game 3, we saw very different results.
Well, Tasia now has 2 losses in division, losing to MC and now losing to Hwangson. While Hwangson able to hold pretty strong in NASL, and one of the Korean Protoss is very underrated compared to other people like Hero, Alicia, MC in the league. And that's all for yesterday. We have great games today, a full slate, 4 games, and who better than to present it to you than Mr. Bitter and Rotterdam.
Thanks a lot, guys. Before we talk too much about today's games, I want to just ask Andre. I've heard some rumors that Hwangson was receiving some special coaching from a little somebody.
Well, I said it throughout the entire cast yesterday, so it's definitely not a rumor. But yes, we actually went over a lot of Tasia's build, or I talked to him, and I just basically said in his TVPs, he plays very abusive. He goes for the 3 orbital command centers, or the complete opposite, which is 5 to 7 barracks off of 2 base. I said, as long as you understand how to actually defend against those, you're fine. And because he doesn't like to do early game aggression, be bold, go 1 gate robo, get a good scout in, and then it lets you know whether or not you should go 3 Colossus defense or 3 Colossus attack.
Oh, hats off to Hwangson for the wins. Hats off to Greetor for the excellent coaching. And most of all, hats off to Bishu for proving that
He's doing really good, man. He's 3-2 in his season. That's not many people would have called it.
He's playing really well.
Did impressions of you yesterday.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that went actually really good.
Yeah, it was
like the
really
way he
good.
threw it to the commercial break for a second, I thought it was...
That's not it.
It's like,
all
guys,
these things are tongue twister. I can't even say tongue twister.